Hello, welcome back to McCall Invest. Today, very quick video, exciting video about how much you would need or how many shares of particular companies and exchange traded funds you would need to replace what kind of income. So I just want to share a very quick formula here about how to analyze and predict and calculate, project out how many shares of a particular company or how much you would have to invest to get how much income. So let's jump right in. So first you need to know the dividends per share, and then you need to figure out how many that is per year. So typically companies are paying quarterly, so that means you're going to get 4 payments. So you find out the quarterly dividend, multiply it by 4, that's your dividends per share per year. Then divide the desired income by the dividends per share per year. So once you got this number, you say, okay, I want to get $10,000 a year. So take $10,000 divided by the dividends per share per year. That is the total number of shares that you would need to drive that amount of income. And then you multiply that amount of shares times the current share price to get the dollar amount of how much money you would need to invest to get that amount of income. So today we're going to analyze roughly the average mortgage payment, which is $2,000 in this country. And we're going to look at 3 different income producing investments and see how much money it would take to produce that. The first one up is JEPI. A lot of people really like JEPI. I don't advocate for it. I don't own it, but I wanted to use 3 different yields, and this one is going to be our high yielder for the day. Obviously, there's some reasons why I don't invest in it, but one benefit that I do want to share, it makes it very simple when you're trying to calculate monthly expenses or try to replace a mortgage. This one is paying monthly. So that is a little easier. It's a little easier to find those numbers and do that math. But all I did here, guys, take the annual dividend, which is $4.78. So I took 24,000 and divided it by $4.78. I came up with 5,020 shares. The amount of money you would need to own 5,020 shares is $285,690. So we're talking about roughly $286,000, and you could replace a $2,000 mortgage every month. So that's JEPI. Stock number 2 is Altria, ticker symbol MO. This is the greatest producing stock in the history of the world, and it is not even close. Google that, fact check that, please. I think you'll be amazed to find how much this company has appreciated over time, as well as the amount of dividends they've paid. They're a relatively high paying company. I do own them, and it's nice. They boost my income substantially because a lot of my other stuff doesn't pay nearly as high. But again, with the formula, let's get back to that. You can see down here, they paid $1.06 last quarter. That's what's going to be moving forward. So if you do that times 4, you get $4.24. So take your 24,000 divided by $4.24 equals 5,660 shares you would need in order to replace the $2,000 a month. The current share price is $66.65. So you would need $377,239. Okay, so again, much less than a lot of people would think. But here's an easy way. Let's check the math. So we said 5,660 shares to replace, and there you go. There's your $24,000 per year. So that would replace your $2,000 mortgage per month. Lastly, everyone's favorite dividend exchange traded fund, we have SCHD. No portfolio is really complete without this. I think this brings a ton of exposure. I'm going to continue to speak about this exchange traded fund. I own this exchange traded fund. I don't plan on ever selling this ETF. I rely on this for many reasons. It makes it very simple. When the market is down overall, I like to get a bunch of stocks on sale. When it surges, I still feel good. It usually rides the wave. This thing's going up. I really love this ETF. But again, back to the formula. So we're paying, SCHD is paying $1.03 per year per share. So you take that, so you take your 24,000 divided by 1.03. That means you would need 23,300 shares, which is roughly $640,284. $640,284 invested in SCHD to replace a $2,000 mortgage per month. So obviously, not huge numbers here, guys. I mean, with JEPI, we're talking about $285,000. With Alshare, we're talking about $377,000, and with SCHD, $640,000. You don't need millions of dollars. I mean, that would make a real impact to a lot of people. A lot of Americans would love to have $2,000 coming in the door every single month passively, without having any tenants, without having any roofs and leaking, without replacing toilets, without getting permits, any of that stuff, guys. You just invest, let it compound, and this is what dividend growth investing can do for you over a long period of time. Obviously, this is not going to happen overnight, but I'm very encouraged by these numbers, and I hope you are as well. Thank you for spending some time here with McCall Invest, and have a nice day.